Question number 19 on the writing and language portion of College Board's Test 5. Which choice adds the most relevant supporting information? So these are questions we have to be very careful about because we need to answer exactly what they're asking us to do. And in this case, they're saying we need to find the most relevant supporting information in the paragraph. The most relevant. So, one of the artist's most famous images showed Tweed with a bag of money in place of his head. Like many other Nast cartoons, that one was published in Harper's Weekly. I don't understand why that's relevant. I mean, yes, Nast did work for Harper's Weekly. Why is that relevant to the piece, though? I don't know. What up, B? One of the artist's most famous images showed Tweed with a bag of money in place of his head. Nast would later illustrate Tweed's escape from prison. Again, I don't know how that's relevant to the passage, especially considering that the cartoon depicted him as a great big bloated thief. What about C? One of the artist's most famous images showed Tweed with a bag of money in place of his head. One depiction that omits Tweed's signature hat. Why do we care about what hat he wore? I mean, unless that's like central to understanding who this man was. I don't know, let's hope, what does D say? One of the artist's most famous images showed Tweed with a bag of money in place of his head. An image that perfectly captured Tweed's greedy nature. I like that. What's the most relevant supporting information? The fact that Tweed was very greedy and he had an insatiable desire for power. So when Nast put a money bag in place of his head, this is the most relevant detail that adds to who Tweed was as a person. We know that Nast depicted Tweed as a great big bloated thief. So what's the most relevant piece of information that nicely ties that up and gets us to understand who this guy was? The fact that this, use of putting a money bag on a head perfectly captured his greedy nature. The answer number 19, the most relevant detail about who this guy was and what the passage is about, D.